Muy buenas a todos, gente, bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio aquí en el canal de Don Pepperronin. Vamos a continuar con esta fantástica serie del Genshin Impact versión 3.1, en la que parece que estamos cerca de ir al desierto y pues hay que terminar esta conversación para poder pasar. Lo que pasa es que el episodio anterior ya se me estaba alargando mucho y tuve que cortar, así que vamos a continuar justamente aquí donde lo habíamos dejado. Antes de comenzar, quiero pedirte que por favor te suscribas al canal, dejes tu like en el episodio y me sigas para más. Tienes todas mis redes sociales abajo en la descripción, incluidas el YouTube rojo, el naranja, el azul, el morado, el gris, el celeste, el verde, el fuchsia, el amarillo, el rojo con plateado, el gris con negro, el café con blanco. Me inventé como los últimos 10, pero fuera de ahí, sígueme y suscríbete a mi canal. Quiero cobrar, ya, por fin. Quiero llegar a los 1000 suscriptores.
I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side, so I trust you.
Qué bueno,
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have been working on?
Ah, that. While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals, so I eventually declined. All I know is that that project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
No creo que sea restaurarlo como tal, creo que es corromperlo más. Acabo de recibir nueva información.
Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body?
La academia está intentando convertir a Scaramouche en un dios.
What?
Sí, ¿por qué? Digo, a fin de cuentas los Fatui son una organización y el Escaramucho se fue rebelde. Además, los Fatui en sí están sirviendo a la diosa Crio. No creo que el Escaramucha esté de acuerdo con lo que la diosa Crio quiera, no sé.
Do you have any evidence?
Vi un dios incipiente en una construcción. Hypatia nos mostró una conciencia divina. No, sí fue una super cinemática. Puf, me voló la cabeza.
So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new god who is still in the process of being born.
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia forest because of Hypatia?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to
Sí,
Party's
carnal, ahorita,
DI
espérame.
and began searching for a way to return her to her normal self. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile at Aru village. Now that you mention it, I knew the Academia has never thought particularly highly of Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god.
Los Fatui también están
Looks
detrás
like I
de
made
esto.
the right decision by not accepting their invitation. The Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. Sounds like we're in for a bad time.
Siempre hemos tenido
From your
dos
description, I don't
Fatuis
think
en
they've
las
completed
regiones y
their
tampoco no
project.
pasa nada malo, así
There
que
may
digan,
still be
wow.
room for us to intervene.
Tuvimos a la señora y al Tartaglia en un tiempo en Mondstadt. Después tuvimos a Tartaglia y a la señora en Liyue. Después tuvimos a Tartaglia y a la señora y a Scaramuccia en Inazuma. Aquí nomás tenemos 2, tampoco no es tan grave.
But then, what is the connection between creating a new god and restoring Irminsul?
Hay que hackear al Irminsul para darle poder al
It feels
nuevo
like we're
dios.
still nowhere close to figuring out the sages' goals.
Primero vayamos al desierto.
We've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out. How about you, Tainari? What are you going to do?
Desierto.
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan Rabat.
No te
That'll be your
preocupes.
fastest route.
Ya tenemos algunos
Come find me
teletransportes.
here if there's anything else I can do to help. May the spirit of wisdom go with you.
May the
Thanks,
spirit of wisdom
Tainari.
go with you.
Hopefully Hypatia will
May
feel
the
better
force be
soon.
with you.
We're off then.
May the Triforce be with you. Que la Trifuerza te acompañe. Más protogemas gratis, a ver. Y sé testigo del pasado de Scaramuccia tras conectarte a la conciencia divina. 570, qué bonito número. aquí nunca había venido fuera del nomás pasar por aquí, ¿sabes? Pero no me he clavado ni en platicar con nadie ni nada de nada.
Time to go.
Qué bonita música, eso sí te voy a decir, me encanta la música. Me gusta y a la vez no que haya NPCs que sean solo NPCs. O sea, no puedes hablar, no interactúan con nadie, no pasa absolutamente nada. Simplemente existe, ¿sabes? Y está bien porque le da realismo al asunto, pero al mismo tiempo hace que se sienta más vacío de lo que ya es. Digo, si no estuvieran, se sentiría más vacío, pero una vez que sabes que están aquí y que no hacen nada, como que igual se siente. En cambio, cuando hablan, pues dices, oye, pues hay personas. Y como en el Majora's Mask, cuando tienen sus propias cosas que hacer, sus horarios y todo eso, uf,
It's pretty lively here.
es increíble.
So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh,
El Majora's Mask,
wow.
ojalá que el Twilight,
I
no,
remember
el
hearing
Tears of the
people
Kingdom
call
sea
this
parecido
the
al
wall
Majora,
of
en ese
Samiel.
sentido de
It's made to block
cada quien tiene sus
sandstorms
cosas
from the outside.
ciertos días de la semana, de lunes a
Oh, if
domingo.
it's this
A
doll,
esta hora alguien
it's
hace
gotta
esto
be
el
the
jueves
divine
o
work
los
of
viernes y
Greater Lord
así.
Rukkhadevata, right?
Perdón, me desvío. Recuerda que la gente lo llama el muro de Samiel y está hecho para bloquear las tormentas de arena del exterior. Oh, ok, con razón, para eso es. Un muro tan alto debe ser obra divina de la reina mayor Rukkhadevata, ¿cierto? Te quita el aliento.
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Va, te seguimos. No te sorprendas, simplemente di, ok.
Over here.
Oh, hey, they went that way. Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
Tú nomás, corre. El alacenas. Tin, tin, tin,
What
tin,
the-
tin,
Where did he go?
tin, 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 tin,
How did we lose
tin,
them?
tin.
They were just here a second ago.
Shiba.
More Eremite mercenaries?
Pensé
Who
que
are
nos
they
iban a
working
atacar.
for this time? Anyway, traveler, it seems like we were being followed again.
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago.
Gracias a la cena, nos salvaste el pellejo. Al chile no, me los hubiera cargado. ¿Por qué crees que yo no me vigilo las espaldas? Porque si alguien viene por la espalda a atacarme, su lanza espada mandoble se va a romper en mis músculos de la espalda. Mis músculos espaldares.
There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors.
Qué bueno, compadre, porque no te voy a pagar nada.
All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Alhaitham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon that you're here to take us back on their orders.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list.
Qué rápido.
I can't say that I didn't expect it. However, had I wished to turn you over
Porque
to
llevo
the
menos de una semana
academia,
en su
don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
¿Participaste en el gran proyecto de los sabios?
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer.
Ah, o sea que me extrañaste, chiquita.
Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the divine knowledge capsule. Unfortunately,
¿Qué te
I've run
parece
into
si
some
vamos al desierto y
difficulties.
buscamos algunas
Everyone
respuestas
says the
juntos?
capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the divine knowledge capsule right in front of you. And upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for quite some time. To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what you've
Sí,
been
sí,
hiding from me?
pero vamos platicando por el desierto. Debe de ser porque me sobresalté al escuchar de nuevo esas palabras. Mundo, olvídalo.
Alhaitham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like
La
that?
situación es un poco complicada, aún no te lo puedo contar.
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the academia after all. So considering that, it is indeed wise to keep your cards close to your chest. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the divine knowledge capsule. Am I
Así
right?
es.
No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are also headed to the desert?
Claro, te acabo de invitar.
That's right. We have the same plan as you. But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else.
Cuantos más mejor,
Wow.
vámonos
It's
juntos.
always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Oye, tengo las rayitas del control un poquito sucias. Debería darles una limpiadilla. A ver. Qué divertido que ustedes estén viendo una pantalla quieta mientras yo estoy limpiando el control.
This scenery is wonderful.
A ver, Gandalf
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Acá. Ja, qué bueno que había desbloqueado esta cosa.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa. This landscape is really something else. What a cool place!
Tengamos cuidado con los giga. Estaría más divertido. ¡Ostras, los giga! Yo les dije, vale. No, morro, espérate. ¿Qué tú qué o qué? Bájala de web. La matra. ¿No vienes contra mí o contra este vato? Este vato me cae bien, fíjate. Primero pega y luego pregunta. Siento yo que así deberíamos arreglar todos los problemas.
Sino.
¿Ves? Ahora va a platicar.
Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Mahamacho.
Oh, Hatham. Do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Dicen que este vato cuenta unos chistes bien malos.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice for the Matra, as well you know.
Seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al-Haytham? Did you call him General Mahamatra?
General
Yes.
Mahamacho.
General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic
Me
crimes.
encanta que aquí, aunque
You
todos
seem
son
to have
amigos,
placed a lot
se
of
chulean,
trust in
¿sabes?
Al-Haytham, to the point of blocking an
Pronuncian toda
attack
su
for him.
reputación que los
If I were
precede.
you, I'd never choose to side with him.
Si yo fuera ellos diría,
I wouldn't
este es un
believe a single
imbécil,
word
es el
that
más
comes out of his
idiota de toda la
mouth.
academia.
I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer.
Yo al chile no confío en
Otherwise,
él, digo, lo acabo de
There
conocer,
will
me
be
quiso agarrar a fregadazos.
consequences.
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong? Hyman doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things.
Deberías, digo, eres
Oh,
el juez.
Hatham. I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
Así que nos engañaste, ¿no? Sí, no, sí cayó en su mano, pero luego se lo quitó.
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does this capsule mean to you? And why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
Uy, perdón. Los sabios te asignaron esta misión. Me estoy tapando diferente.
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two! Ugh! What you would do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them!
Mira, vámonos solos. Mejor solo que mal acompañado.
Well, look at you
Oh,
two,
que la- oye.
acting all tough and self-righteous
¿Es
over
una
there.
fiesta o qué?
Wait, Dia?
¿A poco ya se murió Dungersat?
Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here. Otherwise, these two are gonna start fighting again!
Yeah, sure looks that way. Two giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds.
Los cayó a los dos. Ni siquiera voltearon a ver a Dilla. Aún están buscando el momento oportuno para atacar.
Hey, did either of you hear a word I just said?
Phew.
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strong! Is this a sandstorm? Paimon's gonna get blown away!
Phew.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here,
que la
quickly! We have to take cover.
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind is too strong! Let's get over there!
That sounded like Candace.
sale
Come
más
on, you
gente.
two. Jeez, are all of you academia folks such hard work? Move it!
El play va a
All
petar.
right, stop yelling.
Que te calles, hijo. Qué bonito el desierto. Es la primera vez que veo esta... Bueno, la primera vez que me percato de que estoy viendo este símbolo. Les encantan las alfombras, ¿verdad? ¿Tú sabes la hueva que es limpiar una alfombra? Imagínate que le caiga jugo de lo que sea a esta fruta.
Well, this is pretty awkward.
Simón.
Hey, wanna play sardines with three people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why
Y
not?
Candace,
Sounds
¿no?
fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down.
La
Please,
Candace
let me introduce
tiene
myself.
heterocromía.
I am Candace,
Sexy.
protector of Aru Village.
Our savior has come at last. Nice to meet you, Candace.
Tiene un
The
pájaro en la
name's
espalda. Mira qué
Paimon.
chido.
Thank you so much for helping us.
Muchas gracias, señorita Candace. ¿Dónde están Fines y Ferf?
There's no need
Le
to
gustó
thank
mi
me.
chiste.
It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister. Unlike those guys over there.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar,
¿Con cuál ojo los
even
viste?
before the sandstorm
¿Ves en colores
started.
diferentes?
And now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you
Ella ve
pose
todo en
no
3D.
threat whatsoever to us. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and put your hostile feelings to
Y dicen
rest.
que sí no es el de los malos
If
chistes.
anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged Candace's character.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself clear?
All right, we got it, Candace.
That's what I like to hear. So, which of you will begin?
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Al-Haytham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to exile myself.
Huh? Exile yourself?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's actual progress. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data was none other than Grand Sage Azar himself. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence were carefully concealed from me. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. He even said to me,
Bájale de huevos o te le bajo yo.
"The power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us."
So they really are up to no good.
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain their control over knowledge. The vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold, they are meaningless to the
Se dio
Academia of
cuenta de que es
today.
un policía en un cuerpo de policía corrupto.
I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my
No, ¿por qué
actions.
sigues haciendo tus
I will never
jaladas
give up on this investigation.
prohibir las cápsulas de
There's no
conocimiento y
need
eso?
for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth, I will administer judgment by my own
Si
name.
sabes que las reglas que te pusieron
Cyno
son
seems to
malas,
have the
¿no?
same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less scary.
¿Y si se está inventando toda la historia?
Well, Cyno, if that's your story, then why did you see Al-Haytham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the Academia, I overheard a conversation between Al-Haytham and a sage. The sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Al-Haytham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Así que la CEN me ha estado vigilando todo este tiempo.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the traveler.
Al-Haytham?
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
El día que tenga todos ustedes como personajes jugables, los voy a suicidar a todos.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information, namely that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the Divine Knowledge Capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the sages. Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
¿Y qué hay de nuestro encuentro? ¿Te uniste a mí solo para poder investigarme?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the divine knowledge capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the academia. Also, you should remember, you were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
Eso es verdad. Eso es verdad.
That's true. Alhaitham helped us out at Caravan Rebot as well. Maybe he's telling the truth.
Entonces, para que me quede claro, todos estamos hablando de que la academia nos caga y queremos hacer cosas malas contra ellos, ¿no? Podemos ponernos todos de acuerdo. Candas, tráete unas chelas, vamos a esperar a que se baje la tormenta y cuando se baje, vámonos todos para la casa, hacemos una fiesta y luego desde la fiesta nos ponemos a hablar ahí qué onda con el acá el plan malévolo para acabar con la academia. ¿Cómo ven? ¿Todos de acuerdo? Chelas, ¿no? Jalan.
I'm willing to apologize if that's worth anything to you.
Sí,
I
no
took
pasa
the
nada.
divine knowledge capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this land.
Es lo que mató
You
a
should be well aware, Scribe Alhaitham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and suspicion. Answer me this. Did the sages share any information about their project with you?
Yo sé todo del proyecto.
Have I
de los
not made
dioses,
myself
digo, de los
clear?
sabios.
You and I are both distrusted by the academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your misunderstandings.
Son el Diluc
And
y
now
el
you,
Gaia.
Dia. I believe it's your
El
turn.
Abeidú.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering from her illness at home. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time getting back together with everyone here, but then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style. In that case, welcome back,
No,
Dia.
son Beidú y...
That's more like it. I missed you all so much,
Ningún.
Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip outside to clear out some of those creatures in the sandstorm.
Creatures? In the sandstorm? Are you sure you don't want some backup?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these conditions is at a disadvantage. You needn't worry.
Yeah, just leave him to Candace. Don't worry, she's as tough as they come.
The wind's died down. That means the sandstorm's over, right? Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright? Maybe we should go out and check on her.
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. All right,
Ya
let's
la mataron,
go.
manda.
We've been here long enough, and the boys are as chatty as the floor.
Y el asesino está en esta mesa. Ay, es de esos lugares que... Fíjate, lo único malo que no me gusta de Genshin es que para entrar de cuarto a otro cuarto tiene que haber una cinemática. Si no hubiera cinemática, ¡puf! Eso me explotó la cabeza cuando jugué el Breath of the Wild. Estaba acostumbrado a que cuarto, cinemática. Sales, cinemática. Entras, cinemática. Son los lobos pedorros estos.
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Me hubieras hablado, chiquita, pues aquí estamos todos.
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm had stopped.
Debes de ser muy fuerte y tenaz, pero te oyes cansada. Déjanoslo a nosotros.
Ah! Here comes another wave!
Leave this round to us. I got interrupted earlier, but now I have something to take my anger out on.
It's been quite a while since I've seen the flame main in action. I'll leave these to you then.
I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Ella es una combinación entre de Beidou y Shinja. A ver, ¿dónde están todos? No que muy. Ahora resulta que no, que nomás yo les voy a pegar.
The wind knows me.
Más diversión.
Time to rain outlines your...
Quietos, perros.
Take flight!
Literalmente, perros.
Ha! Yeah! Ha! Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up?
Acabará cuando yo diga que acabe. Ya acabó.
The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time
Con todo
being.
respeto, ¿qué tengo aquí enfrente? Es una de las lágrimas del Tears of the Kingdom, futuramente en el canal. ¿Por qué digo futuramente? ¿Por qué sigo diciendo futuramente? Quiero decir próximamente o en el futuro y combino las dos cosas y sale futuramente en el canal.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
¿Nadie vio la lágrima que tenía en el hombro?
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I had my hands full taking care of the village's elderly and children. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Mucho gusto, disculpe las molestias.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now. May I ask if such sandstorms are common?
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increasingly severe and frequent. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural phenomena are related to the withering of Irminsul.
Another effect of Irminsul's withering. So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest, and sandstorms and earthquakes here in the desert?
Así parece.
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These regional symptoms can indeed be a reflection of Irminsul's present state.
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village guards like Candace?
No, son NPCs normales.
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how Aru village refers to mad scholars exiled here by the academia. Most of them are scholars who lost their sanity after a period of training in the Avidia forest. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly exiled to the desert. Though if you ask me, it's all a boatload of nonsense.
Hey, Pesher también estuvo a punto de ser exiliado al desierto.
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have been mysteriously disappearing without a trace. But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep an eye out for them.
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins? I'm fascinated by how you think.
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or identity.
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra.
Mahamatra.
You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations. Thank you for your help.
Yo también le ayudo.
Is it
No sé por
because
qué.
you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, now this! We need to help get them back home, safe and sound. But, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
Es una buena oportunidad para observarlo, mantener a tus enemigos aún más
I'll be
cerca.
grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so far.
Va. Pues bueno, gente, por aquí vamos a ir dejando el episodio del día de hoy. Como siempre digo, te dejo aquí a la derecha mi canal para que te suscribas. A mi izquierda, mi izquierda, sí, a la izquierda del video. Ahí por donde está la cara del señor este que voy a tapar junto con este señor de aquí, que tú tal vez no estés viendo porque tal vez estés viendo lo de los videos. Aquí te dejo unos videos que puedes ver y la lista de reproducción para que veas los demás. También te dejo mi canal, por favor suscríbete al canal. Quiero llegar a la meta de 1000 suscriptores, ayúdame a llegar a esa meta. Comparte el video con tus amigos, seres queridos, familiares, perros, mascotas y seres interdimensionales. Los vemos en el siguiente video, cuídense mucho, banda, les mando un fuerte abrazo. Chao.
There are leaves
Se me
around,
lengua la traba muy seguido
and
últimamente.
I
No sé
know
qué me está
just
pasando.
the tune to
Chao,
accompany
chao.
them.